man with the words. I wish everybody gets to have a speech about them from Lin-Manuel Miranda. Can we make an album of that? I would love that. Fun fact, when Ariana was looking for a place to live in London, she found this one apartment, and as you walk through, there's a framed photo, like, how they have department store ripped photos in the frame, and it was Lin-Manuel Miranda. And she knew that that was the place for us. So she kept this framed photo of Lin the whole time we were shooting. At the end, she gifted it to me as if it were some heirloom, and it's still in my office today, so you're always there, Lin. Thank you to the National Board of Review for this honor. To Annie, thank you very much. Mark Platt, I love you. You are our protector of all things. You have the biggest heart, and you teach us every day of how to be a real leader. And thank you so much. To, yes, Mark Platt. To David Nixay, I love you. You know all the things. David Stone, to Universal, everyone trusting me with this daunting task of a movie. It's been quite a month. I had a baby the night of the premiere. My 5th child, yes. 3rd, while making Wicked. I had 3 babies making Wicked. My wife had 3 babies, okay? No twins, same mom. I know what you guys are whispering. And then the aftermath of Wicked, the press tour about the press tour. And of course, giving our movie to the audience as they showed up to theaters, dressing up, making art, learning the dances, all the creativity is just overwhelming. And now the beautiful and kind recognition of our work. Like the incredible and heartbreaking performances of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. I see you there, you are. Michelle Yeoh, wherever you are, somewhere out there. My true sisters, I love you. And I am in awe of your power. Do you know how hard it is to act in a musical film? Let alone a movie musical where the audience has to buy into that. Yes, the voice is one thing, that's the easy part for them. You have to act, oh my God, and you have to dance, all 3 things, and then you have to understand the emotional complexities of the character, and it can't be imitation because there was a character that lived before that, and you have to do stunts, and they have to tie it all together so seamlessly that you forget it's a musical in the first place, and you have to be in key, because they're singing live, and they're doing it in corset and heels. This is not easy stuff, people. Don't be deceived by the ease in which they make it look. Making a musical is hard, and it's emotionally expensive, but it's the best. And you do it right, it's in the details. The restraint, oftentimes, the silence. I learned that from you, Lynn. The things that the audience feels, but they don't really think about. Reasons they come back over and over, but have a hard time explaining why. To make our movie work, every millimeter had to be considered. Every color, every window shape, every button, every camera move, every freckle, every shape of the cape in the wind, every instrument choice has a purpose. Something that goes beyond dialogue, that only a movie experience can deliver. And only hundreds and hundreds of people, human hands, can bring to life. It has been the hardest but most fulfilling work of my life, and I think I can speak for our other collaborators here, of our lives, to re-explore the American fairy tale, The Wizard of Oz. For me, it's felt like destiny, a journey I've been on since I can remember. I grew up the youngest of 5 kids in a Chinese restaurant in Los Altos, California, the heart of Silicon Valley. My immigrant parents, who are here tonight, still have the restaurant 55 years later. Side note, my mom wanted to wear her furs from 1979 because it's a fancy occasion. I told her this is 2024, we don't do that. And our movie has a plot about animal rights, so her fur is fake tonight, folks. It's immigrant parent. But they wanted us kids to have everything they couldn't have, so they put us in dance classes, music classes. We went to shows every weekend, usually musicals, and she dressed us all up the same because she wanted us to be the Asian Kennedys. She even called me Jon. That is true. And I would do my homework at the restaurant bar, and my parents would say, America is the greatest place in the world, like Wizard of Oz. It's the place beyond the rainbow where dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Work hard and love what you do, and you will get your heart's desire. You can even be president of the United States. Or a lawyer, or a doctor. No, I'm gonna take the video camera, guys. And so I made wedding videos and bar mitzvahs and class project, you name it, and eventually got to USC School of Cinema. And while I was there, suddenly faced the harsh reality of the real world, trying to figure out who I am in my cultural identity crisis of being an Asian American, and I got the call from my mom, asking me to make one more trip home to see a show with her at the Current Theater in San Francisco, a Stephen Schwartz new musical that was called Wicked, before it ever went on Broadway. And I fell in love. It was the Wizard of Oz, but through a whole new lens. The American dream demystified, and that blew my brain up. As someone who felt different in a world, it stayed with me. Never would I have guessed 20 plus years later I would get to direct the movie version. So this has to be destiny. I mean, maybe my agents called a lot over the last 10 years to convince Mark Platt, but I'm gonna think it's destiny. So yes, this process has been a lot. And yesterday on my way here, an airport staff member stopped me and he said, hey man, I just want to tell you that I'm from Pakistan and I have a 9-year-old daughter. And a few weeks ago, she asked me to take her to see Wicked. I said, oh, that's cool. And he said, it's the only time she's ever asked me to see a movie. So they went to a 10:45 a.m. showing in Virginia when it came out. And he said, she sat like this the whole time and never moved. He said, at the end, she immediately demanded to see it again, and she said, I love this, and I love movies, and I love you, Daddy. He said, okay, fine, we'll see it again, but in 2 weeks, He said, in this time, we've become so, he said he was thankful because he had this experience with his daughter because they've been struggling recently, emerging from isolation of COVID, the weight of their place in this country in politics. In this time, he said, we've become so consumed with finding someone to blame that we've forgotten how to dream. But the reason we came to this country is because it is the land of dreams. And he said that 3 times to me. He said, it's the land of dreams. This is the land of dreams. This is the land of dreams. And I could hear my parents' voice in this. And I could hear my voice to my children. Pessimism, cynicism is easy. You don't have to do anything but sit back and comment. But to fight for your space to hope, actively share joy with others, to overcome all the bullies that want to say it's not valid unless it's angry, that is, as I said the other night, a radical act of optimism. It's what I felt when I fell in love with movies like E.T. and Sound of Music and Forrest Gump. It's the type of movies I aspire to make, and I think we need more of. It's the greatest movie musicals have always been, subversive hope. And is why we never set out to make just a movie adaptation of a Broadway musical. We aspired Wicked to reflect the world as it stands today and ask real questions of who we become when we know the truth. There's a reason our heart breaks when Glinda watches her friends soar in defying gravity and Madame Morrible steps out. You got me on that one. Madame Morrible steps out and embraces her. It's hard because as we hope and want to be like Elphaba, fearlessly fighting for justice, we know we're actually mostly like Glinda. We don't quite have the strength to leave our comfort zone and fight for someone else. Not yet. And that's why I think telling these stories is so necessary for me, to set the horizon line of where we want to go, just like those dreams set before my parents that compelled them to come to this country in the first place, so that a kid doing his homework in his family's Chinese restaurant can imagine a world where he too can become a director, able to know his story has value. So that a little Pakistani American girl can imagine a future that not even her dad can see from Oz yet. So when the story seems to me not quite right, and the hope to change it seems too daunting, there's another generation ready to boldly rewrite it from the inside out, fueled by even bigger dreams for us to head towards. Thank you very much. This means the world to me. I appreciate you. And thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you.